Welcome to Hammerspace Recording. My name is Troy Nababan, and today we're going to have a look at how I use the ToneX One pedal to play at a stadium. Those of you that know me from the Gear podcast or from outside of YouTube know that I've had, for the last 7 or 8 years, maybe one of the coolest gigs going around. If you're unfamiliar with AFL, then you're on YouTube already. Go check out the highlights once you finish this video and liked it and subscribed. But I get to play for one of the football teams, which is the Fremantle Dockers, and they play all of their home games at Optus Stadium here in WA. It's a stadium that seats about 60,000 people. More often than not, there's about 40,000 people there for a home game, and there's about, I think, 11 home games roughly a year. And each one of those games, I get to play on the very top of the stadium. There's a little platform which I have to get harnessed in to play on, and I get to peacock around, and it looks something like this. And that's my buddy Alistair on the bagpipes as well, who's joined me this season. I play some AC/DC songs. I play Hell's Bells at first, then we do Long Way to the Top, and then if the team wins, I play TNT at the end. So it's a very straightforward gig. It's not a hell of a lot of guitar playing, but it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot that goes into doing just a small amount of music. So I'm usually at the stadium a couple of hours early. I've got to stay the whole time for the game as well. And usually takes a little while to get home at the very end of the game. It's always a long day, but I'm super grateful to the Fremantle Dockers for giving me the opportunity to do this gig, because it is kind of a dream come true. It's a bit of a gig of a lifetime thing. Outside of that, let's talk about the guitar stuff and the gear nerdy stuff, because I've changed it up a little bit over the last couple of years, and I just want to talk about the rig that I take these days. And I'll start with this, which is this is around 2011 or 2013 Gibson Explorer. I got this guitar about 2 years ago, around the start of 2024. I picked it up because I saw Angus Clark playing one on an Instagram post, and it looked really cool. But outside of that, I'm very, very far away from people when I play. And so from a visual perspective, having a long and bright looking guitar like this, and pointy guitar, is a bit more visually striking than something like a Tele or a Strat or anything like that. And I have played those guitars up there, and they sound great and they look good, but I think this just looks a little bit cooler. Like, I wish it was purple. Maybe one day we'll make that dream become reality, but not in the near future, I think. I changed the pickups in this. This has got a Duncan Jazz and a Duncan 59, I think, in the bridge, just because I got them reasonably cheap secondhand around Perth. It is not my favorite guitar to play, to be completely honest. I'm not a huge fan of Explorers, just because of this massive big thing out here that always gets in the way when I'm sitting down trying to play it. But that's fine. You suffer for your art, and it still sounds pretty good. It just takes me a little while to get comfortable with it if I haven't played it for a little while. And this guitar mostly lives in its case when I'm not using it for the gig. It's gone about 2 years. It had gone about 2 years without me changing the strings on it, and I changed them last week because I thought it was probably about time. I think I've said this in some other videos, but I don't really change strings that often, mostly because my hands aren't super acidic, so I don't rust through them. And I also don't tend to break them with the way that I play. So sometimes, having a lot of guitars like I do, months and months can go by, and I just don't really even think to change them. So happy I finally chucked some strings on this guy last week. Just 10 to 42. 10 to 46, sorry. NYXLs. We'll see how long it lasts this time. So that's the guitar. And at the moment, I'm running the guitar into a little ToneX One pedal, which I picked up towards the end of last season and probably used it for maybe the last 3 games, something like that. I've used a lot of different pedals and guitar distortion machines over the last couple of years. The main one I used for the first few seasons was the Fractal AX8, which I love the way that sounds. I moved from that to a Friedman IRX, which I love, love, love the way that sounds. But I've settled on the ToneX One just because it's small and compact and super easy to use. And like, I really just don't want to be complicated. I don't want to make life hard for anybody, including myself. This thing, I just chuck it in the gig bag with the guitar and a couple of pedals, power supply, chuck the bag on the gig bag on my back, and I'm pretty much like ready to go do the gig. So it sounds like this. And let's head over to the ToneX One software, the ToneX Editor, and we'll just see what I'm doing with this thing. So here is the ToneX Editor. Not my favorite piece of software to operate, but it does the job. It allows us to learn the tones, and that's really all that matters. I'm using my HS-JMP HF-JEL1 capture, which is a mouthful, but it's a capture of my Marshall JMP, head-first modern Marshall JMP. That is pretty much my favorite amp and something that I've used a lot for the last couple of years. Jason modded it around 3 years ago, and the JEL switch, which is the JEL in the title of this capture, makes it kind of like that JEL mod thing, which I really like. A little bit gainier, and yeah, just makes it a little bit tighter sounding as well. I loaded a couple of other of my captures into this just to take to the gig, depending on what was feeling right. Last year when I first got the pedal, I put some of my captures in and it sounded completely fine, but I was a bit lazy about it. I just kind of didn't even really learn how the pedal worked. I just grabbed the capture, threw it in and went, yep, that's close enough, went and did the gig. This time I thought, well, let's maybe take it slightly more seriously considering I am playing in front of a lot of people. So this JMP sounds like this. The HS Stiletto Fluid 2 comes from the Mesa Boogie Stiletto. Sounds like that. I also have my HS MP1, which is an ADA MP1 capture that I made. I put this in the stomp slot here just because it's quick and easy to A/B the tones, but I'm not really using it for the gig. I didn't really try it when I sound checked the other day, but it sounds like this. So they're all good. They all sound usable. I mean, I made them, so I would hope they sound okay and to my taste. I will say I'm playing AC/DC songs for this gig, and I understand that all of these tones that I've just shown you are a lot gainier than traditional AC/DC sounds, and I understand that and I respect that. But I want to just talk through a little bit of what it looks like for me to do this gig. So again, we'll just go back to the JMP sound for a minute. Sounds like that. I'm basically monitoring the entire gig through in-ear monitors, which I think that's pretty standard these days for a gig like this. It's not really possible to take an entire Marshall stack up to the roof of the stadium and have it listenable from where I'm standing. And that's fine. I'm pretty comfortable with ears. I've used them for a couple of years with some other bands that I've done. It's completely fine. It is a little sterile sounding, and if the ears mix is not 100% right, which it usually is pretty good, but if I'm not hearing everything really clearly, or if there's not enough sustain on the note, it does feel very difficult to play. I do find it very difficult to play. So I know it probably is a lot more gainy than AC/DC traditionalists may enjoy, but for me, when I got to do my thing, it's just a lot easier to play a tone that hangs on. It sustains a little bit longer. I don't have to hit it as hard to get it to respond. And yeah, I know it's kind of funny to say, but there's a lot of compromises to make it work. And I said that really works well for me. I have tried this gig using a lower gain tone, and it was okay, but I have a moment at the end of the games where I've often got to just hold on a little bit, and yeah, having it just sustain a little bit more makes a big difference. Further to that point, I've got a little bit of delay on this sound, which sounds like this. Only a tiny bit in the background there. The other kind of weird part to this whole gig is that when I'm playing, I mean, firstly, I'm in ears, as I said. I can't hear anything. Like there's no stage sound. There's no movement of air up on the roof where I'm playing, and the PA is all below me, pointed downwards. I get a little bit of that ambience if I was to take the in-ears out, but with the in-ears in, I can't really hear any of that. So what I do hear if I take the ears out is a massively delayed signal as the sound like kind of goes out of the speakers, reverberates around the stadium, and then kind of comes out the top. And it can be actually a little bit fun to play, but it's like super delayed. It's like maybe a quarter of a second or a third of a second delayed from my own playing. And it's not just an experience that I have, like listening from so far away. In the stadium itself, the speakers are really far away from the audience. So if you start to add too much delay and reverb and effects and stuff and make it sound like the greatest lead guitar sound you've ever heard, what it ends up sounding like to audience members is a gigantic pile of mush, because yeah, it's just you're putting delay and reverb on a signal that then gets reverbed around a bunch. I find that having nothing makes it really sterile in the in-ears. So I kind of like having just that little bit of extra tail on the delay. Just so I kind of feel like I'm in a space. It's I guess similar to what you have a lot of these days with like certain amp modelers. They'll have like a room reverb sort of built into it. I just do that with the delay, and I find that amount of delay doesn't feel like it muddies up the tone too much. Like just listening back to it. But it's something where just like the combination of that delay and the little bit of extra sustain I get from the the gainy patch, it all kind of works out pretty well for me. So yeah, that's pretty much all I take now. And I'm pretty much ready to go do my gig. So that's it. Gibson Explorer, ToneX One, and a lot of peacocking, and I'm pretty much good to go. I just want to say thank you to the Fremantle Dockers again. I'm not sure if they're ever going to watch this video, but I'm very grateful for them for giving me the opportunity to do this gig for so long. I'm also very grateful to the amazing people at Kojo who do the sound and lighting and everything at Optus Stadium, because they always make me sound good and they're always super easy to deal with, even if I am being a pain. And also massive shout out to everyone at Ozone who harness me in and make sure I don't fall off the stadium, because I haven't fallen off yet. I've managed to survive, and my children still have a father, so that's a nice bonus. If you like this Marshall sound that I've been playing today, I've uploaded that for free on my website, hammerspacerecording.com, so you're free to download that and check it out. Over the last couple of months, I've gone and recaptured all of my ToneX packs to make them the V2 captures. So if you've already purchased something, that's a free download for you to just grab it whenever you feel like it. I've also reduced the cost of a lot of my ToneX capture packs over the last month or so. So yeah, if you're interested, feel free to go and check out the amps. I didn't want this to be a whole big ad, but they are available if you're interested. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for checking out another video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.